Hey, this is Hazza here, and I think this might be a bit loud, so I'm gonna have to edit it afterwards. Oh well. But anyway, this is in response to Blake. I can't actually remember what your name is. I'm sorry. It's a dodgy name. Blake316, and I love his videos. I love all his I love all your parody videos and stuff. They're all great. Really enjoy them. But this is in response to your what is your top 5 games of 2011. So I thought I'd mix it up a bit and just add one more category to it. So 1 to 5, but then another category, because I think that one category is really the most important. It shouldn't just be the top games of the year, and I'll explain it when I get to it, because it deserves its place as the final thought. So the number 5, my number 5 game this year is easily Dark Souls. Dark Souls, I agree with everything you said in your video, Blake. It is just the story is horrible. The graphics aren't all that good, and as far as I know, I'm still trying to ring the bell that's in a spider's lair or something or other, something to do with that, and then I have to go to some place that looks a lot cleaner, looks like a hospital, and then I have to go to Ash Lake or something, and then it suddenly turns into a Japanese slash 'em up thing with weird Japanese stuff and whatever. But it's just the difficulty just keeps me coming back. It's like I'll play for about 2 hours and I'll get to some boss or just some particular part, or maybe I need to get past a Black Knight, and this Black Knight just won't lay off me, and I'll get stressed, and I'll just put it down, and I'll just be like, right, that's enough, and I'll go away for 3 hours, and I'll go have something to eat, and I'll go watch a bit of TV, and I'll come back, I'll play it again, and I make more progress. And that the great thing about Dark Souls is that it is totally fair. It's difficult, but in a fair way. It's in if you die, most likely you can improve on what you did the last time. Be that level up a bit more, or maybe you weren't particularly using the right strategy, or maybe you could be more smart, or maybe you just went the wrong way. That's great. I bet talked on for a bit about Dark Souls then. I'm sorry, just really good. Number 4, Gears of War 3. Gears of War 3 was an epic game. I played that game from start to finish in one sitting, and then went on to finish it on insane mode, and then went on to the multiplayer. The only reason I stopped playing it is because the connection sucked at my university that I moved to in October, so I had to stop playing it really, because otherwise I just lost every match. Number 3 was Skyrim. Skyrim was, and still is, awesome. My only problem is that it's the reason why it isn't my game of the year. I mean, I am as close to a Bethesda fanboy as you can get. I love all Bethesda games. They've had me since Oblivion. I love the way they design games, and the way that they are an independent company. They don't have to answer to a publisher who wants them to get 50 million sales. They make the game how they see that it's supposed to be made. They don't feel pressured to turn it into some stupid first-person shooter and have bullet time and AK-47s and M4A1s, and it's just bonkers. It's so good. Just so good, Bethesda. But I'll get onto it. Skyrim, the only reason that it's not my game of the year is that so far it's not. I've put a lot of time into it. At the moment I'm on about 35-40 hours, but the problem is that there's nothing. I'm not dying to get back to it. Unlike games like Dark Souls, I'm not dying to get back to Skyrim. Granted, Dark Souls is at number 5 because in my opinion, it's worse than Skyrim, but that was for different reasons. Dark Souls has its merits, and so does Skyrim, but it also has its faults. and that was Skyrim as well. Other than that, it's a great game, and the gameplay, the styles, the gameplay, the amount of content it's got is completely sound. And that's what annoys me about Skyrim, is that the fact it's got so much content that it can be overwhelming. You're like, I really want to play Skyrim, but there's so much to do that it kind of scares you how much there is to do. I don't really want to get into all that. Now, my number 2 is Portal 2. Oh my god. I've been a Valve fanboy since Counter-Strike 1.6 and Half-Life, and then Half-Life 2, and then Portal 2, which I don't know when it's set in the time, but I don't care. It's a great game. It's such an original take on puzzle games, and the way that they turned Portal, which was essentially a beta test, a technology, a tech demo, into this full game with great story and great characters. That just Portal 2 made me want to go and see Stephen Merchant live, and I could have done it if I had the money, but I just didn't have the money at the time. But I would have loved it. He was playing at the Bradford comedy arena thing. It was about 10 miles or something away from where I was living in at the time. Just Stephen Merchant's performance in Portal 2 made me want to see it, and Stephen Merchant made that game for me. If he wasn't in it, it would still have been a great game. It still would have been at number 2 spot, but it just elevates it. My number 1 is going to be surprising. Not many people have this because it's limited to a certain amount of elitist players, and they're called PC players. I'm not an elitist PC player. I like PC gaming. I play Portal 2 on PC. I play Skyrim on PC, but I also have an Xbox and I have a PS3. What you can do. But my number 1 game of 2011 is The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings. I have never played such a well-made RPG in my entire life. The way the story is constructed is fantastic. The way the quests are constructed is fantastic. I really felt for every single character in the game. I really felt that I was in this other world, and that there were mines, dwarven mines, and then there was Draugrs being at it, and you never knew what was going to happen next. It felt like an actual fantasy story. There wasn't any repeated gameplay elements. So at the beginning I was just wandering through a forest having to deal with ambushes by elves, and then the next minute I'm having to investigate a curse and find the different elements that I need to get rid of. And then collect staffs and stuff, and then get rid of this curse and fight Draugrs, and then reenact a battle, and then I'm not going to spoil the end because the end's amazing, so we'll like that. But it was an absolutely amazing game, and it deserves every single Game of the Year award that Skyrim did get, in my opinion. It's just that good, and the only reason that it hasn't got the critical acclaim it deserves is because it's a PC only game. And I feel sorry for CD Projekt Red for having to deal with that, but they're making it for 360, and I applaud them for doing it and taking on the challenge. But furthermore, anyone who has a 360, get Witcher 2 when it comes out. You won't be disappointed. I swear to God, you will not be disappointed. But when I think about it, and I think about those 5 games, and then I think about the game that I played the most this year, which is my other category. The game I've played the most this year is actually Fallout New Vegas. And I think that's more important than Games of the Year, in my opinion. Is the game that kept you coming back to it the most, and that was Fallout New Vegas. I have about 5 or 6 characters on Fallout New Vegas, all with at least 30 hours. I have one with nearly 150 hours. And I'm a PC player, so I have it on PC. I have 2 copies. I got the collector's edition on 360, and then I went out and bought the PC version. I'm a Bethesda fanboy, and Fallout is just my... I can't get enough of Fallout. just I mean, the modding as well. I mean, the fact that Bethesda provides you with this tool to then craft your own stories and experience other people's stories that they want to experience. We all say that in Bethesda games, the best stories are the ones that you experience by yourself, the ones that aren't scripted. So say you're just walking and travelling to Windhelm in Skyrim. In Skyrim, you're travelling to Windhelm from Whiterun, and you go past a giant camp, and you're like, oh my god, there's giants over there, oh dear, and you've got to sneak by him, sneak by him, sneak by him, sneak by him. Those are why Bethesda games are so good. It's the fact that you just can't beat that level of immersion. And plus the bugs are freaking hilarious. The bugs are hilarious. But you can't beat that level of content and the level of possibility that there is there. It's not particularly immersive. I used immersion was the wrong word there. It's not particularly immersive. But just the possibility and the there is. It's just, I love it. I love it so much. So that was the game I played most this year, and I'll just go over my top 5 games of the year. Number 5, Dark Souls. Number 4, Gears of War 3. Number 3, Skyrim. Number 2, Portal 2. And number 1, The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings. More people need to play that game. Do not be put off by how difficult it is at first. It is a difficult game. It is not Dark Souls difficult. As soon as you get used to the combat system, you'll like it. And I promise you, you will enjoy the game if you get it. I promise you. Just put the time into it. So that was Hazza. And this was made for Blake 316, is it? Sorry, I keep forgetting. Yeah, 316. Okay, so this was for Blake 316. Hope everyone had a good Christmas, Happy New Year, all that jazz, and I will see you later. Go CD Projekt Red.